Okay, let's do this thing with so many pay-per-views going on this weekend. Might as well tackle one of them right now before the next one happens. So here we are. Happy 420 as of yesterday, or some would say RVD Day, whatever you want to call it. But TNA Rebellion, Las Vegas, back at the Palms Palace. Big card going into this show. So yeah, let's get right into it. Rebellion. First off, let my co-hosts introduce themselves for today's review.
Black Shaggy back in the building again, the greatest rapper alive. You know what it is. We're here for Rebellion, so let's get to it.
Did you watch the pre-show?
I did not. I mean, if you want to get into it, you can go ahead, but I personally didn't watch it.
I'll kind of blow through it real fast. Because like here's was the pre-show matches. They had the Rascals. Where they actually brought Myron Reed back, by the way, too. He was there. Basically, it was a 6-man tag with them going against ABC and Leon Slater. It was just a big spot fest match. That's all I can really tell you about it. It was a big spot fest match. The ABC and them won, and Leon Slater. So it's not really much to say about it. It's nice to see Myron Reed back because like the last time I really even saw this guy was actually when I went to the show many months ago. And he only showed up for that one taping, and then we didn't really see him again after that. So hopefully he sticks around now, given that they brought Myron Reed back. Like, dude's great. So, like I say, he's part of the Rascals, so we'll see what happens from there. But, yeah, it was a spot fest match, honestly, just to kick off the show. The other two pre-show matches, though, Crazy Steve and Laredo Kid for the digital media title. Laredo Kid ended up winning, so he got, like, the clean win with a Spanish fly off the top rope. So there you go from that. I don't know, man. That digital media title sometimes is it really doing anything for anybody?
I mean, it's just another belt to have, just so people are fighting for a title. Because if they're not going to be X Division or World Champion, just have another belt around.
True. So yeah, like it
I'll tell
was.
you what, though. The way you made that sound, you said he just beat him with a Spanish fly. Like, that doesn't really sound like much of a follow-up to what they built the other week. Like, when him losing his cool and pushing the ref and all that. Like, I thought, I don't know. I thought this not a heel turn, but I thought we were going to get something crazy, like some kind of stipulation match or something. Like, he just straight up beat him, like, and that's that. So, I
There
don't know.
you go. That was just kind of it after that. And the last pre-show match was Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat going against the K for the Knockouts tag titles. Spitfire ended up winning. It was a good match, though. I'll say that. Right after it, though, because no, Spitfire. Who did they have out there with them? Lars Frederskin. You know who that is?
I can look it up right quick because I have the Wikipedia open. He's
I,
a
I don't.
musician.
I think he's.
Uh,
I don't know if he was in a band. I don't know. So like, I didn't really know who he was when he came out there.
yeah,
He
he's
just
in a band. That's all I got.
he just came out there with Spitfire, and then after they won, retained the tag titles. Masha Slamovich came out there with a chain, and Alicia Edwards had a kendo stick. So I guess they're a team now. Like, I don't what happened to what's her name? Killer Kelly. Like, what happened to her?
She left. Her contract came up.
Oh, she left.
Yeah, she
Oh,
gone. As far as I know, that's what I heard is that her contract came up and she didn't resign. So
oh, okay, all right. I didn't know that then. All right, that's interesting. Kind of odd. They just threw Masha in another team now.
I mean, I'm glad Masha's sticking around, and because for a while they didn't really have her doing anything, even with Killer Kelly. Like when they lost the titles, they were just kind of around. Masha kept getting rolled up, and I'm like, okay, what are we doing here, man? This is Masha Slamovich, bro. Like, I don't know, but I'm glad she's sticking around at least.
True. I'd rather have it back as a singles competitor, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I guess they're just sticking with the tag team for right now. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. I feel like it's not a lot of like tag teams in the knockouts division right now. So, and I feel like some of them
her
are like,
beat Jordan. Like, what are we doing here?
yeah, a lot of them are just made up. Like all you really got is Decay, Spitfire, whatever this team will be, and who else is a team?
Well,
Like,
that's it. Because Killer Kelly's gone, so unless they hire somebody, that's it. As far as I know, on weekly television, that's all I remember seeing was those three.
Yeah, like they're gone. So yeah, I don't really know any other teams. And then like the last part of the pre-show, like they sent these protesters out there to basically do a sit-in against Jake something to going for the X Division title because of the weight class, I guess. And then next, Diener came out there, and then he's doing this whole the People's Choice gimmick now, I guess. And basically, all right, people, do you guys want me to get rid of these protesters? And then he ended up like beating up the protesters, like throwing them out of the ring, and said, "Let's start the pay-per-view." So basically, that was the last part of the pre-show. So they trying to do something with Dina right now with this People's
Yeah,
Choice
I'm
thing.
glad they found some for him, like, because he was doing nothing. So
Like
they
they
found something.
something. So we'll see how far it goes. But now we actually get to the main part of this show for Rebellion. They did have a guitarist come out there, a DJ Ashba, basically perform the national anthem via guitar. So he was killing it though. I
That
ain't
was
gonna
new.
lie. He was killing it. So I
Yeah,
ain't
that
gonna.
was cool.
That
But
was
they
cool.
never do that. So that was weird that they. I don't know. Maybe this is part of their new rebranding that they're going to do the anthem and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. So I saw somebody online saying like I was like, no, this isn't like how Chris Warren and DX Band did it at WrestleMania. But then again, I think that was a different song. But at the same time, that was still some funny ass shit to see back then. I'm like, no, it's not on that level. But we actually do kick off the show with the X Division title on the line. Mustafa Ali versus Jake something. Mustafa Ali came in with his presidential SUV, security guards and stuff all the way into the ring. This was a very good opener. Definitely enjoyed it. I kind of figured the security team was going to get involved. Jake something doing the big dive onto the, Ali and the guards to the outside was pretty cool too. I definitely enjoyed this match. It ended up with Mustafa Ali, doing like a basically a pin, leverage pin and whatnot, hold on to the bottom rope, shielding the referee so he doesn't see it, still retaining the X Division title. So definitely enjoyed it. Good match. Like I said, it was a lot of obviously some interference as well from the security team, but good opener.
Oh yeah, it was excellent. And I tell you what, it takes a while on this show before I start disliking things. So I'm going to be pretty positive until we get to a certain match. But yeah, starting off the show, this was hot. Uh, yeah, I still don't like Jake's name, but he's awesome in the ring, man. Every time I see him, it's like ignore the name, ignore the gimmick that he's doing, and just let him cook. And I mean, I had no doubt going into this it was going to be fire considering who was involved. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Great stuff.
Yeah, yeah, the name still, yeah, I still kind of wonder how far you can go with that name. It's Jake. He's got something. Something. He doesn't have a last name, but it's something. But no,
His
overall, this is
gimmick is his name, bro. Like it's not even that his name is Jake something, but it's the fact that it's his gimmick. Like he does the "What's my name?" and then the crowd says something like "What?"
what? What's my name? Even his theme song goes something,
Right?
something.
It's so like what?
Like what? What is this again? I remember sitting next to somebody when I went to one of the shows for TNA, and then I think they was telling me like, yeah, it's only so far you can get with his name. I'm like, yeah, he's got the size and everything, but yeah, this name is only gonna go so far. So he's good, but yeah, the whole gimmick thing still is kind of like it's something. So it's Jake something. What's my name. But yeah, with the roll up pin, no, I feel like this feud will continue with Mustafa and Jake something. So we'll see where that goes. You've been enjoying Mustafa's gimmick, by the way, the presidential gimmick since he's going to every other company all over the place now with his campaign.
Oh yeah, man. I'll tell you what, there hasn't really been a time where I haven't been enjoying what Ali's been doing, except like his later days in WWE when they made him just a loser. But I mean, even the retribution stuff, like he was doing his thing on the mic and everything. So yeah, this is just another example of him finding a thing and putting his all into it. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's different than what anybody else is doing. And in this landscape of wrestling today, where everybody's kind of just the same to an extent, he's doing something to stand out that actually complements what he does in the ring. So that's yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, the gimmick's over. I'll say I was there live, last week to see it, but New Japan show. So it seems to be working. But then again, he from over here, so he was going to be over here regardless. But no, it seems to be
One
working.
thing about it that
Yep.
makes it even better than like a normal heel gimmick is because in this day and age, people cheer heels and boo faces. That's just where we're at now. But in his case, like what the gimmick is, it actually elevates the gimmick more when people do that because it means they're buying into his trash, just like real politicians. You get your sheep who buy into what these people are saying, the garbage they're giving you. And it's like, this guy's clearly a dick, but something about the way he says these words is getting me in to root for him anyway. And it's like this is topical too. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's working, especially in today's environment with an election already happening this year. So I guess that's kind of the best way when you look at the timing of it to work with it. Like I said, be a politician and just lie to people and stuff. Like I'm trying to give you people what you want, even though we're not really giving you what you want. So there you go.
Exactly.
So it is working though. So I will give credit on that. So we'll see how far I can keep going, especially with the Secret Service agents around him too. Next match though, we have Rich Swan versus Joe Hendry. They did have former NFL linebacker Sean Merriman out there in the crowd watching. Rich Swan with his new gimmick now with Top Dollar or Dollar Tree, the fans were chanting out there was pretty cool. I know they had like a whole bunch of people in his entourage, which I did not know who any of these people were that Top Dollar brought because I saw them on the pre-show and I guess they called them the Man Boy Mafia Gamers. Who are these people? Like I didn't know who these people
And
were.
boy,
I think that's what the whole group was called or something. Man Boy Mafia Gamers or something. That's what they were called. And I'm like, I've heard of Black Boy JB. I think he's a rapper, but everybody else, I don't know who these people are. I don't know who the white dude with the multicolored hair. I don't know who old girl was with what did you call her? Like
Coil Ray lookalikes.
yeah, Coil Ray look alike. And this match wasn't bad. Like I said, they're trying to get Rich Swan over as a heel now, which thank God they finally done that because this dude's been floundering for the past 2-3 years and hasn't been the same after losing to Kenny Omega for the title. So I'm still trying to buy into it, but it's something different. Sean Merriman did jump the barricade going to Top Dollar because he tried to argue with him, but as the referee was distracted, Merriman hit a big clothesline on the Joe Hendry, which looked pretty good by the way too. And then Swan hit a frog splash for the win, and then the entire entourage got in the ring, and for some reason this girl started twerking on Joe Hendry while he's down. I'm like, that's not a bad way to lose.
The worst things can happen, bro.
Like worst things can happen. I'm like, this is a good consolation prize. Like, hey, I lost the match, but I'm getting twerked on at the same time while I'm down. So, yeah, that's kind of a win in a way when you really think about it. Like, I'm not mad at it. I'll take it.
Free lap dance.
Pre-lap dance.
And she ain't bad looking either. So hey,
I'm like, yeah, she ain't bad looking. So I'm like, yeah, she'll look at bad. The cheeks is decent. So I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at all. But you still buying into Rich Swan's new gimmick though? The whole heel turn thing with Top Dollar.
no. But I tell you what, the I'd say this was a perfectly booked match because well, I mean, Rich Swan just turned heel, right? And the reason he turned heel was like the catalyst was him losing to Joe Hendry. So he shouldn't have lost this match, right? Because like I just turned heel because of you, and then I'm going to lose to you again. Nah, you got to give Rich the win, and they did it, protecting Joe with the swerve and all that. Like everything in this match made perfect sense. So I actually really did enjoy it. But on what you just asked me, I don't know what it is about Swan, bro. Like I feel like this would work way better if it was like Chris Bay or somebody. Like he just doesn't come across as what he's trying to portray, man. Like it's not swaggy. Like it still feels goofy. His big ass hats and it's he still got his kick pads over his jeans. It's like I don't know, man. I don't know. He doesn't come across like this dude, and that's probably because he isn't. But wrestling is all about making me believe in what you're selling me, and like I don't dislike Swan or anything, but like in this role, I'm still I'm still not convinced, man. You need somebody, like I said, like a Chris Bay would have worked way more because his whole thing is him being like that kind of dude, but he's a good guy. So it's like, I don't know, bro. I did really like this match. It didn't overstay its welcome. The booking made perfect sense. And they did everything to get us to the next level. Perfect. But I still need, it's been a month of this, right? But I still haven't been convinced on Rich in this role. But I mean, maybe he'll get there. I don't know. He just started this, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, man. It
You
still
gotta give
ain't.
it time. You
Yeah, I
gotta,
don't know what it is.
yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to buy. Like, I'm not 100% sold yet, so I'm trying to buy into it, but I'm not really buying into it at the same time. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but I don't know. I feel like it's gonna need a little bit more tweaks, something like that. Because I'm like he from your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah, they both are.
Oh, him and Top Dollar.
Well, Dollar's not from Baltimore, but he's from Maryland.
Oh, okay. I know Swan's from Baltimore. I know that. So, um,
But even like his promo he cut when he turned heel, it wasn't serious. He was still felt goofy. Like he's like, it was your boy AJ Francis. It's like, bro, like say it like you trying to kill this dude, bro. Don't say it like a TED talk. Like like he's doing a bit. Like I don't know, bro. The way you deliver all of this is how you're going to sell me. And so far, it's been very goofy to me, bro.
yeah, I'm like I said, like I said, I'm trying to buy into the promo, but yeah, he does kind of sound a little bit goofy. Like says, y'all turned y'all back on me, okay? But this man right here, he had my back. He had my back. I'm like, okay, sound a little bit more serious. He did sound a little bit over the top. And by the way, this is like 2 matches in a row where it's like a whole bunch of extras involved that somewhat get involved in the match. So that's 2 matches in a row, but they're
More
good
on
for.
that later.
Yo, yeah, more on that later. On that later. So it is what it is for that one. Next, though, we had a Full Metal Mayhem match between Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian, which I have to say this was very brutal. Given this whole feud has gone off of Frankie Kazarian turning heel, taking out Eric Young, claiming he's the king of TNA now and all that. And now Eric Young has to bring out the sickness again and whatnot when he was doing the design thing and even having the mask. There was a brutal hardcore match. We got trash cans involved, multiple cookie sheets to the head. Obviously, even bringing out the Janus board with the nails that Abyss used to carry along and whatnot. But like so we had I think it was a ladder involved too. So yeah, brutal stuff. But going near the end of this match, and I feel like they may have called an audible here. Basically they had a table set up. They were on the turnbuckle, and I guess Kazarian hit the flux capacitor as like his finishing move off the top rope, but they hit the side of the table. They didn't even hit the table all the way. And as soon as they hit the table, you could see Eric Young's head literally cut, like damn near cut from the back of his head, spilling with blood immediately. So he must have sliced himself on that table, and Kazarian won from there. So, and you see, like the doctors had to get in and check. I don't, hope he's not hurt too badly and whatnot, like legitimately injured, but they may have called it audible because the match went about 15 minutes anyways, and it was enjoyable, but that last bump there was very brutal. Like that was a brutal bump to go through because blood was spilling as soon as he hit that table.
Yeah, I don't think anything hit the table but Eric Young's skull, and that's why it was very crazy looking. Coming into this, I thought Frankie was going to win because I thought Dolph was going to win in the main event. But seeing as that didn't happen, now I'm questioning: did they call an audible? Maybe Frankie wasn't going to win because, I mean, to what end? Unless we're going to do another match. I did enjoy this match. I thought it was. I mean, you said brutal, but it is brutal to an extent. Like to me, it was very tame for a Full Metal Mayhem match. Like this was not those Abyss matches from back in the day. Like it wasn't that at all. But they did come with the shit. So I'm very happy about that because both of these guys, man, I watched them so long now that it's like I fully expected this match, regardless of how they built this, to start with like headlock takedowns and collar and elbows and stuff. Like that's just what these dudes do. It's like, yeah, this is supposed to be a blood feud, but we're still going to get our traditional wrestling start, but we didn't do that. We got right to it. I'm like, all right, good, because man. So I did enjoy it. I thought it wasn't as violent as it could have been, but considering how it ended, which was the most violent thing that wasn't supposed to happen, is like, well, golly, bro. But yeah, just like you said, man, I hope Eric's all right, because that was crazy. So crazy.
Yeah, that was a very brutal finish right there. Like I said, it was still a good Full Metal Mayhem. Like I said, I've seen more crazier ones in the past, but like this was still somewhat good. And like you said, also like given how long both of these guys have been around TNA, they basically since the beginning of TNA, that's how long they've been here and stuff. So they're two vets that we know they can go at it and stuff. So like I said, I still enjoyed it, and they are getting over Kazarian's heel gimmick and whatnot, but yeah, that finish was that was that was a dangerous finish right there. So yeah, hopefully Eric Young's not too hurt after that. But yeah, Kazarian won the match from here and won Full Metal Mayhem. I don't know if the feud is over at this point, but we'll see what happens next after that. Next, Steve Maclin came out there in his gear, who's not scheduled part of the show, and he basically showed off his new TNA contract, which was offered by TNA executives earlier today. And they said they met all his demands, but he wanted a match. And he said he wasn't going to leave the ring until he gets the match. Next thing you know, Santino Marella comes out there basically saying, like, you're just in luck. We just signed a new guy, and you're going to get to face him right now. We actually got the return of Santana, Mike Santana. The last time Santana was in TNA was probably, 5 years ago when LAX was still around. And he got a big welcome back chant. He came through the crowd. He's kind of somewhat got his old, well, not all his old LAX gear, but how he used to dress and what he currently dressed on AEW told me in recent months. He said he looked like Solo Sikoa, which once I saw the photo, I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of very Solo Sikoa-ish gear, but he kind of went back to like his LAX gear in a way out there. I did enjoy this match. It was solid. Santana ended up hitting the big discus clothesline, or as the finish they call spin the block, and got the win from there. So a good signing, though, in general, because I did wonder where Mike Santana was going to end up next after he left AEW. So this is a good get for TNA, and I guess Maclin signed a contract also, so I guess he'll be sticking around too.
Yeah, I've got no complaints about any of this, man. I know Santana won the House of Glory title, and he was doing that for a while. I don't know if he still is or not, but yeah, man, it's a great pickup. I'm like like you said that I said. I'm glad he went back to his LAX gear, because I wasn't digging when he first debuted. That look in AEW was so jarring. In the blood and it was no one blood and guts. It was Anarchy in the Arena, I think, and you got Ortiz dressed in the regular LAX gear, and then Santana's out here looking like a Samoan, and I'm like, what is this, bro? Like, this is singles push Santana, I guess, but. I mean, it's a minor thing, I guess, but for me, I'm like, a look is part of it all, So, welcome back, Santana. A point will be made later on about a few signings that help strengthen the main event scene, because that's definitely what they desperately needed for a while now. So, it's nothing but good things for him, man. I mean, he took a bet on himself, and he came back as a singles guy, and I see nothing but the ceiling for him, man.
Oh yeah, I do hope to see big things for Santana, because I did kind of wonder where he was gonna go, after AEW. Because then again, we thought something was gonna happen with AEW. They looked like they were gonna push him to be a singles guy, but you barely saw him on TV. Then after they kind of did it, that just
Yeah, he
nothing
beat Ortiz, and then he was gone.
gone. Like yeah, he beat Ortiz, and that was it. And then we never saw him on TV again after that. I was like, what happened to Santana? And then he just left, and that was kind of it. I know he done an interview recently to talk about why he left and all that, but yeah, he just left. It was just kind of like, yeah, it just wasn't working over there. So, yeah, I do want to see what he's gonna do as a singles competitor now, and back in TNA, and whatnot. Then, like the last time he was around, like I said, tag team champion, him and Ortiz, LAX, and all that. So, I do look forward to see what he's gonna do. So this is definitely a good get for TNA, and like I said, people still know who Santana is, given he was there in the company before. So I think it'll work.
I don't even know why people were so like when they first were talking about those two breaking up. I mean, I know we all love LAX and everything, proud and powerful, whatever, but people were acting like his career is dead because he wanted to go out on his own. And I'm like, I mean, he's a great talker. He's a good looking dude. He's a great wrestler. Like, why wouldn't he thrive as a singles guy? Like, I don't really understand. He's got all the tools. Like, why wouldn't he succeed? All it takes is somebody to give him a chance. And now he's finally getting that chance. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't he thrive in this? So, yeah, he about to prove a lot of people wrong, man. Because I definitely think he can be up next for at some point as a world champion in this company. I don't think it'll feel weird at all.
Oh, I agree. I think it can work. Because it's like you said, I look at his time in AEW. It's still kind of crazy. It almost surprised me that they never won the tag titles in AEW. That does always kind of confuse me between Santana and Ortiz. Like, damn, they never even won the tag titles over there this whole time, and they were in that company.
According to him, they were supposed to at a point, but when they were like up next, I guess he had to deal with like a death in the family, and he had to leave. And by the time he came back, like they already moved on to somebody else, and they just never got around back to it. So, I mean, that kind of sucks, man. That's just the reality of the fast-moving industry in wrestling. But it's like, yeah, man, they should have definitely been tag champions at some point. But it just sucks that when their time apparently was going to come, just like the Hardys, like when their time was coming, Jeff started messing up, and then it just didn't happen. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, I definitely would have loved to see them have become tag champions.
Yeah, nature of the business, I guess. Because like, remember, they were there in AEW since the beginning. They were there since the beginning. So that's
They
why
won, yeah.
yeah, that's why it was always kind of confused me that they never won. Even after he did that interview with a dude and whatnot, it does answer a lot of questions now. But yeah, it did kind of surprise me. And then they broke up as a team. They just didn't see eye to eye and stuff, and they went their separate ways. And like I said, Santana he want to do stuff on his own and go higher. So we gonna see what happens though. But I'm glad he went to TNA and whatnot. Like I said, I think he may get a better spot because I think like with AEW now, like say he just would have been, which was happening, got overshadowed and everything was overcrowded and just kind of fell to the wayside. So we're gonna see what happens though. Next, I know they interviewed the System, getting ready for their tag title match. I know Moose talked about how who did he bring in? Because there's a lot of former NFL players on this show. I will say because he introduced John Abraham, another former NFL player. You're gonna see a lot of those throughout the night. So they had a lot of people in the crowd. But the tag title match, System, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus Speedball Mountain, Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Severn. This is probably one of my favorite matches of the night. Probably damn near my favorite match of the night. Hell of a tag match, I gotta say. This was great. I definitely enjoyed it. Unlike what you said, that whole that backpack stunner into the elbow drop still looks clean as hell. Did I think Speedball Mountain was gonna win? Nah, I didn't think so, but I figured the System they still trying to get this System thing over, so I can understand why the System won. But I definitely enjoyed this tag match. This was great, and I like the burning hammer into like the Ultimate Weapon, what Severn and Bailey did. That was cold too. I still think it's funny what commentary said though. Like, didn't they say like the System are compared to the Main Event Mafia or something?
Yeah, they try to sneak it in. They said they're like Fortune or the Main Event Mafia, and I'm like, how, bro?
Like how
In
those guys
what
were
way?
main event level guys. Like those are main event level players there, like big main event level players. Like that's not even a good comparison. Like, hey, I like
They're
Moose and
legends, bro. Like Kevin Nash and Sting and Kurt Angle, Scott
Kurt
Steiner.
Angle,
Like, what are you
Booker
talking about,
T.
bro?
Like what are you talking about? Those are like huge multi-time world champions and stuff. Some of the biggest names in wrestling. Okay, like what are y'all talking about? Like I'm sorry, where was Kurt Hawkins ever on the level of that? Okay, I like Eddie Edwards and Moose too, but I'm like, no, that's not even a good comparison. Like maybe Mafia was like leagues, and I mean leagues ahead. Okay, like come on now. Like
You could have
let's
said Aces and Eights or something, but like Main Event Mafia.
I'm like, dude, I was like, dude, that's not a good comparison. But no, this was a hell of a tag match though, with the System still retaining the titles with they did the roster cut and then the Boston Knee Party on the Severn, so hell of a win. Do you like the Speedball Mountain team in general, or do you just feel like this is another put together team?
I mean, it is a put together team, but they don't have to be mutually exclusive. I could still think they're a good tag team, but they're definitely just thrown together, like for sure. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, in the grand scheme of TNA, I guess what other title would they be going for right now? That I mean, Mike Bailey's already been X Division champion, so like whatever. Trent Seven, I guess maybe could go forward or whatever, because he's not sniffing the world title anytime soon. So I mean, why not put them as a tag team? They've got good chemistry together whenever they're on TV, cutting their promos or whatever. So, yeah, if you can't get Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, then why not? And yeah, I agree that this is it probably is my favorite match of the night. Like, as much as I clown the system and as much as I just clown the system, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, they're holding their weight, man. This is what the second time that they put on a crazy tag title match that I guess third time because they just did the one with the guns. That yeah, man, they're cooking as a tag team. I thought they were going to win, and then Moose was going to lose in the main event, and that caused some kind of rift in the group. But not to the extent that I thought this match was predictable by any means. Because if Eddie or if Mike Bailey or Trent Seven roll one of them up, I wouldn't have thought, well, that's out of nowhere. Like, yeah, so I got no complaints. Like I said, until we get to a certain match, this show was all hits for me, no misses.
Oh yeah, definitely a great tag title match though. So I definitely did enjoy it. Right after that, we had a last man standing match between Josh Alexander and Alex Hammerstone. Once again, this was another hell of a match right here. Like we've seen these two face each other at least 2 times now. This is the third match into this feud. Hammerstone taking away Josh Alexander's headgear. There was just a lot of brutal stuff out there. I will say that. I know Josh ended up bleeding from like a cut of his ear, I believe, throughout this match. But no, it was a lot of crazy stuff in this match. I think the craziest thing I saw in here was like that nightmare pendulum off the top rope into a whole bunch of thumbtacks and stuff. That was pretty crazy to see. That was crazy to see out there. I definitely enjoyed that. Alex Hammerstone, taking him to the outside of the ramp. He was gonna hit him with another nightmare pendulum, but Josh was able to get out of it then. And he hit a half and half suplex, then the C4 spike onto the stage, and was able to get up, before Hammerstone could get up and won the last man standing match. Like I said, this went almost about 20 minutes, I believe. So this was a hell of a match. I definitely enjoyed it. And like I said, I'm sure this ends the feud off at this point between Josh and Hammerstone. But no, I definitely this was great. Definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to get into it because I think last man standing matches are generally boring because you gotta, they get knocked down and then it's like, oh, gotta go through the 10 count and all that. So it took me a minute just off of how I feel about these kind of matches. But once like it started really getting into it, because I mean, it went 20 minutes, right? So, it's going to take a little bit to build. They're not just going to go crazy from jump. So once it really started getting into it, like once he laid Josh down between the ring posts and booted his head into it, I'm like, okay, yeah, we here now, gents. Like this is going down. And it's kind of crazy that to me, this felt more brutal than the Full Metal Mayhem match, and they didn't really do any weapons stuff. Like that to me made it feel more brutal that it's so violent based on just the suplexes and stuff like that. Like we got the thumbtacks or whatever and all that, but like largely it was just them just beating the hell out of each other with their hands. And to me, that was crazy. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, man. By the end, by the time we got to the end of it, I was like, yeah, that was fire. No complaints.
Oh yeah, great match. I don't know where Hammerstone goes next after this because, like I said, I think this feud is over. Josh got his headgear back, so I don't know which of the feuds will be next for both of these guys. I don't know what's gonna happen next with both of them. But I'm sure they're gonna go off to something different. So I am interested to see what's gonna happen from there.
Yeah, the sacred headgear.
The sacred headgear and stuff. I'm assuming maybe Josh goes back for the title, maybe, or they may have another feud for him. That takes away from the title right now, having feud with somebody else. Hammerstone, I think he will bounce back after this. Like I said, they've made him look very strong lately, basically being a vicious heel out there and just destroying people. So I do want to see what they do with him next. Like I said, I still think Hammerstone was a great get TNA gat. So I do want to see what happens next with him because I thought he had a great feud with Josh in general. So really good stuff. But we're gonna see what
Great.
happens. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens next. So I do want to see where both of them are gonna go on to. Next after that, they had a Jonathan Gresham video. I know we've seen him for several weeks now. I guess he's been in some group therapy session this whole time, and I guess I don't know what they're doing, but he was like spitting up black goo or something, and the whole octopus mask thing comes into play. I don't know where this is going. The video packages look really good. I just don't know where it's going, but it's something to do with his octopus mask.
Yeah, I'm like I said yesterday, man. I'm just rooting for Jonathan Gresham, like in any capacity, just like getting back on my television because people were clowning him for so long after that Tony Khan stuff, and it's like this guy is fantastic, bro. What are we doing here with Jonathan Gresham? Then he came over here and he was kind of just around. He had some great matches with Mike Bailey and Trey Miguel, and then he kind of just was gone. Then he teased that he was going heel, and I was like, okay. Then he had a couple of matches where he was doing heelish things, and then he was gone again. And I'm like, all right, what are we doing with Gresham? Then I hear he resigns, and I'm like, okay, so obviously he's got an idea of what he wants to do. We still weren't seeing him, and now finally we got these vignettes over the last few weeks. And so, yeah, like you, I don't really know where this is going. Maybe he's going to wrestle in the mask. Maybe he's going to be a more violent Jonathan Gresham. And I'm all for that. Like, if he's going to come out here and start being like Bryan Danielson and just tying niggas up and bashing their heads in with kicks, like I'm all for that, bro. Give me that Jonathan Gresham for sure. Um, the fact that he ripped off the tentacles of the mask and all that, yeah, man, it was a cool visual. Like whatever's going on, it's a A24 movie. Yeah, okay, I'm with it. Blumhouse, it's cool. So like, give me the aggressive, violent Gresham. And I mean, the tone of this makes me feel like he's going to come back heel. I don't know who he targets. Maybe Josh. I don't know. Just get him involved, man. Putting him back on TV, get him wrestling, and then we can gauge from there, what this is and if we like it or not. But yeah, just from what we've been presented, I dig it a lot.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. So, like you said, I'm sure he has an idea because before, like you said, he was just kind of around, and like I said, he had some good matches here and there, but it wasn't really nothing that was being pushed forward. But like you said, given they re-signed him now, I guess they got an idea to what's gonna happen, whatever his mask, or he's trying, like I said, some reincarnate thing. I don't know where he's going with the octopus mask again right now. So we're gonna see what happens. Okay, I know some people are already looking at him as Squidward's next cousin, but I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be that. But no, I do want to see what happens. So it's intriguing. I don't know what it is, but it is intriguing. So we're gonna see what happens. Right after that, I know they had Ash by Elegance and her personal assistant basically in the stands getting ready for the next match, which was Jordan Grace versus Steph Delander for the Knockouts title. Usually Steph Delander has Matt Cardona with her, but Matt Cardona is hurt right now. So they brought in the good hands. And man, one thing to describe this match, overbooking, which to the point I had no idea what was going on. Because at first, the match wasn't even bad before all the overbooking came in. I was digging the match.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. Once that ref bump happened, oh boy, because wow, where do I begin? You got Steph Delander hitting Grace with the Knockouts title, then one of the good hands putting on the referee shirt and getting involved, then the lights go out, then PCO gets involved in and starts taking people out, and then Khan comes out there, then he starts attacking PCO, then after that and throws him out of the ring, and then they make it look like Khan's gonna fight Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace just end up hitting Khan in the nuts stand and looked like she was picking him up, but the good hand stopped her. Then they surrounded her. Looked like they were gonna snap her neck on. We're gonna snap people's because that's Khan's finisher, snapping people's necks now and stuff. So I'm like, live murder on pay-per-view, folks. Then the lights go out again, and then we get the return of Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan left this company like a few months ago, to what I remember. And then now he's back, and he's just taking out everybody with a baseball bat. Then he does his thumbs up, thumbs down, hits the cactus driver on one of the good hands after that, goes to ringside, then throws Steph Delander into the ring. Jordan Grace hits the Grace driver and still retains the Knockouts title. So, yeah, this was overbooking at its finest that I was to the point, what is really going on here?
I hated this. I hated it a lot.
It
Like
made no
I was
sense.
so hyped. At the start of the match, I was so hyped, bro, because Jordan was. I even tweeted out. I said Jordan's on one tonight. I don't know what's going on, but she was moving crazy, doing dives out the ring and all that. I'm like, oh, we here. We about to cook. And then as soon as the ref bump happened, bro, this match became a shit show. And I don't really know why they chose to make this match be the one to do all of this. It didn't even have to be a match. You could have just done the angle anyway with like Khan coming out, calling out PCO after this match or whatever, or before this match, and then you still get all the shenanigans. But instead, we use this match. And I'm like, dang, am I the only nigga in the crowd who wanted a Jordan Grace Steph Delander match? Because I was looking forward to it, and we didn't get it. Not really. I mean, we got it for about 5 minutes or so, 6 minutes or whatever it was, and I was just like, oh, what the hell was this, bro? Bro, I was so mad by the end of this. It took me so long to get into the main event because I was really just seething on this. Like, what the hell was this, bro? And I like a lot of the people involved. Like I like Sami Callihan. I like PCO. I like Khan. But it's like, why did we do this for this match, bro? Like, I'm not going to be one of the people who's like, well, this is disrespectful to Jordan and Steph to do this to their match. And like, I'm not going to say all that, but it's like, dang, bro, you got Jordan Grace, Steph Delander. Like, that's not enough to just have that as a match on this pay-per-view. Let them cook for like 15 minutes and that'd be that. Like, I can't even imagine him doing this in when Trinity was champion or when Jordan, was chasing Mickey or whatever. Like, I, why did they do this? I have no idea, but I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it at all. And up to this point, the show was so good, bro. And I'm still not going to say this was a bad show just because I hated this so much, but like leading up to this match, everything I thought was so smartly booked. The matches were great. I had no problems at all. Literally, like this was on its way to being an A show. They just stuck the landing, and then we got here, and I'm like, this was dog shit, bro. Like, and even the small bits of it are annoying. So you mean to tell me that PCO beat Khan twice, but we're still continuing this feud? Like,
No.
even like if I just break down each individual part, or Sami Callihan has to help Jordan beat Steph Delander. Like, what? 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 This is Jordan Grace, bro. What you throwing her in the ring for? Like, let Jordan handle her. Like, all of this as a whole, and then even the little bits of it, annoying, bro. I hated it so much.
Because last time I remember, I'm like, isn't she supposed to be the juggernaut, bitch? That's what I thought last time. But no, she needed help from all these people. And like I said, I'm glad to see Sami Callihan back because the last time he was around was what? Tagging with Rich Swan. And I didn't really know where he was going at that point either. And I'm glad he grew his hair back. But this was all so random. Like, I just didn't even understand what was going on. Like I said, we still doing Khan and PCO. We still doing that. And now, like I said, Callihan is back. Like, like I said, it's good to see him, and hopefully he has a better spot this time than where he was last time in TNA. But it's like all this was just so weird and odd, and I just did not know what was going on. Don't get me wrong, the crowd had ate it up, and I think Jordan Grace needs some bigger opponents now, some strong opponents, because I feel like it's not like what other opponents does she really have on the roster to face that's credible?
There's nobody, bro. And they're probably going to have Dana Brooke be the one to beat her. And I'm going to be pissed when we talk about that, too.
Oh boy, hey, yeah, that's why I feel like it's going. Because I look at Jordan Grayson, damn near ran through everybody at this point, and then again, I'm like, well, who's really kind of here right now that she could face? Because I don't know anybody on the level right now. Like I said, you got her bulldozing through damn near everybody. Okay, so yeah, who does she really got to face right now? Like, I really don't know. Like, that's a really great question. Like, who? Like, I really asked that question. Who does she got to
Outside of
face?
Masha, bro, they haven't built anybody to feel like that's why they had to go out to get Steph Delander. They haven't built anybody to feel like a threat to Jordan Grace, man. And it's like even Masha at this point, they booked her into oblivion. And it's like even if you just threw that match on there after Jordan packed her up already, I wouldn't even be like, yeah, Masha's going to beat Jordan. Unless y'all are going to make a move to sound like Camille or something. Like I don't know. There's nobody, bro. And if it ends up being Dana Brooke, I told you I'm gonna be pissed. And maybe I feel like that because Jordan Grace is legit like my favorite women's wrestler, but it's like, but she's my favorite because she's freaking amazing, bro. And we can't just be squandering her just because we want to get over Dana Brooke. Like, and we can't do this either, where it's like you build up a pay-per-view title defense for her just to do all this bullshit. And it's like, yeah, man, I don't know what we're doing, but hey, she's still champion at the end of the day, I guess. But as a moment, bro, I didn't like any of this shit.
I didn't understand. It got way too confusing. And like I said before, yeah, I don't know who else you really got for Jordan Grace right now. I'm like, damn, Trinity left. Mickey James kind of left. I'm like, yeah, like I said, we got to go get other people from somewhere else just to get some challenges for her. So I don't know. What do you think about Callihan being back?
I mean, Callahan being back is great. Just like I said to you yesterday, man, with the addition of Santana, you got Maclin re-signing, Joshua Gresham. Joshua Gresham is coming back. Josh Alexander is there. Hammerstone. Now Sammy's back. Like you actually now have a main event scene that you've been lacking for so long. Long gone are those days where we were relying on like Heath Slater to be like a main event guy. We don't need that anymore because we got some guys who feel like they belong in that position now. So my disdain for this isn't because Sammy came back, is because it's great that he's back. You need him, honestly, because he's one of the only ones at that time who felt like they could have been in that top spot when y'all weren't pushing him like that. So good for him being back. I'm absolutely down for like whatever's next. I mean, he did kind of randomly pop up to screw over Khan or whatever. So I don't know what that means moving forward. Like, are we going to keep this going? Because I mean, we already did the Sami Callihan Khan stuff with Diener and all that. We don't need to go back to that. move him forward. Maybe he's the one to go after Moose. I don't know, but the way the show ended, maybe not. And once we get to that, we'll get into that. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, definitely a weird overbooked match. So yeah, we'll see what happens next with all these people. Because like one thing people forget, yeah, Callahan was the world champion in this company at 1.2. So like I said, the main event scene at least got some contenders now to go for the title. But yeah, just an overbooked match right here. Right after that, we do move on to the main event for the TNA World Title. Moose versus Nick Nemeth. I know they had Nick Nemeth's brother and dad in the crowd. I think I said this question yesterday. Like, does he still work for AEW?
who knows, man?
I don't know. And then what I've heard lately, I can understand why CM Punk now had him kicked out of Collision now after what I've heard lately. I like, yeah, that's stand
Oh,
up
what did you
comedy.
hear?
Oh, his stand-up comedy thing still kind of making fun of CM Punk, and I guess his tricep, and he got buried for it. And now I think that story about what Punk telling him I guess they had to have him removed from Collision. Yeah, I can kind of understand why now, because he's just been kind of popping up with Nick Nemeth. Like, wasn't he at the Tokyo Dome back at Wrestle Kingdom? Like, now he just has been
Yeah.
randomly here. So I don't know, but I'm like, yeah, what is he really doing on AEW? But no, this main event though, I actually was enjoying this match. It actually was really good. There was a few rough spots through here. I'm not gonna lie. Like you could clearly see the botches, especially what I think when Moose went off he ran to the turnbuckle and jumped back off of it, and I think he was supposed to get hit by a super kick, but I think Nemeth had to just he ended up doing a super kick anyways, but I think it was supposed to be in midair, and that didn't happen. So there was a few rough points throughout this match. Even I thought it was funny when commentary said like, "That's a famous sir." I'm like, "That wasn't a famous sir. That was a damn Rough Rider. What are y'all talking about?" But even at one point, like the transmission went out because they were on the ramp and Moose power bombed Nemeth onto the ramp, and I think the leg knocked off the lights, which cut off the transmission. You couldn't even see anything for a minute. So that happened. Like I said, I was digging this match. Like it wasn't bad, but at the same time, you could clearly see a lot of botches throughout there. And then when we kind of got towards the finish, then Nemeth was going for a super kick, but Moose ended up getting out of it then, and like I say, dodged it, and then just kind of went for a spear. But then when he did the spear and won, you could clearly see Nemeth's shoulder up. It's like Moose caught, like it's almost like Moose pulled his shoulder up. like his shoulder was up. So like, how was that a 3 count right there? Because at first I'm like, well, Moose won clean, but then I'm like, well, Nick Nemeth's shoulder's clearly up. So like, what's going on here? So I almost thought they was gonna restart the match at one point and look at the video, but you could clearly see his
Thought so
shoulder.
too, bro.
Like, it was so kind of strange. Like, I don't know, like I was liking the match, but then the finish was odd. And then next thing you know, the system comes out and celebrate. And then this lights out thing happens where some video on the screen, and then the lights go out. And then next thing you know, you hear a laugh, and Matt Hardy returns. Broken Matt Hardy returns. So he did the twist of fate, and then everybody started doing delete, 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 delete. And then he holds up the TNA title, and then that closes the show. Because, honestly, I thought the match was actually really good until the finish. The finish felt flat, damn near. But that shoulder thing just really caught a lot of people off guard. And I don't know, man. Moose's title reign right now still feels really cold. It's like, no, I'm glad to see him as the champion. They're trying to get this system thing over, even though I kind of look at them as a wannabe 4 horsemen out there. I still feel like his title reign is still kind of cold right now. Did I think Nemeth was going to win? Maybe, but I think they wanted to keep Moose looking strong, and we just don't want another guy coming from the WWE and coming in and winning the world title damn near immediately and whatnot. So they don't want that. And Matt Hardy, there's a lot to say about Matt Hardy right now, to be honest. Like, a lot of things to say about him, but bringing the broken gimmick back and just being back in a TNA ring, which, yeah, the broken thing was over back in 2016 and whatnot, which the crowd still loves it, obviously. They still do, so maybe it will work again. But I just kind of had to laugh when I saw Matt Hardy return to TNA for multiple account of reasons, which I'll get into in a minute. But I don't know, man. How'd you feel about this match?
So I'm kind of half and half on it. I appreciate, like I told you yesterday, I appreciated that it was a sprint. I didn't need to see rest holds and all that shit. Like, let's just get to it, man. It's, we're getting close to 11 o'clock my time. Like, let's get to it. Like, we don't need any preliminary stuff. So I was glad that they kept a good pace through this match, and they kept, like, really the bullshit to a minimum. Like, the system was out of there not too long into the match. So I appreciated all that. I was still kind of like, the last match kind of took me out of the show, so it did take me a minute before I was really even paying attention to this match. Like, I was like, I was kind of just on social media after that last match, and I was like, man, whatever, man, fuck this show, bro. But then I started paying attention, and I was like, all right, actually, they doing their thing. But then when he pinned Dolph, I was like, okay. And just like you, I thought the shoulder thing was on purpose, that Santino was going to come out or something, and they were going to be like, actually, his shoulder was up, restart the match. So I was just sitting there that entire time waiting for that. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, okay. And then Matt Hardy came out for the third lights out moment of the night. And I'm like, okay. This whole thing was kind of just a cluster, man. It was like Matt Hardy showing up to do the exact same debut that Dolph Ziggler did the last pay-per-view, like, to a
Same
T.
building.
Or
Same building.
it's literally the exact same thing to the same guy. I was just like, okay, well, I get what you're saying, that you don't want this to be the TNA of old, where a WWE guy comes in and immediately wins the world title. But at the same time, I was like, this Moose reign has not been it, man. Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Just something isn't connecting with me in this reign. And I like Moose. Maybe it's because he's hampered by this whole system thing. I don't know, but he is in the system. So if anything, he should elevate it. But instead, I don't know. It just feels, it ain't been hitting for me, man. So when I was like, all right, we're going to put the belt on Dolph, and then we're going to get really cooking, man, because you got a lot of people that Dolph could work with for this world title. And then he lost. And then on top of that, he lost in such a weird way, Ronda Rousey style at WrestleMania. I was like, dude, his shoulder's a foot off of the mat. Like, what? What? This has to be an angle, right? And then it wasn't. And that's not even saying that it can't be later on. Maybe this Thursday, whenever they record it, and then we get the weekly show, Santino will be like, actually, his shoulder was up, and we get a rematch or something. I don't know, but like in this moment in a bubble on this show, it kind of just left me kind of feeling cold, bro. I wasn't excited by any of it. I'm not saying any of it was bad, but I didn't feel hype from any of this. And when Matt Hardy popped up, I was just like, yeah, I'm cool on this, bro. Like, I don't hate Matt Hardy, bro, but there's nothing Matt Hardy is going to do for me in 2024, man. Broken or otherwise, dog. Like I said to you, the benefit of him being over here rather than going to WWE is, since this is TNA, a lot of stuff is going to be pre-recorded, so that's going to work to his benefit, right? But yeah, once the bell rings, he's in the ring, and we're getting these Matt Hardy matches like we were getting in AEW. It's like, there ain't nothing for me here in 2024, man. If he wants to do a nostalgia run with Jeff at some point, sure, I guess, but they're both washed, man. I don't have any desire to see it. And so if this is where we're going next in the main event scene, especially when we got guys like Santana and Hammerstone and Josh and Gresham over here, I can't really say I'm into it, man. A Moose versus Matt Hardy program, like, I'm cool on that, man.
Yeah, the weird thing about Matt Hardy to me is just how, I don't know, man. Like, the minute he finally got out of AEW now, was a free agent, because I just thought he was going back to the WWE, because that's what he's been trying to do for a minute now, obviously. But, we talked about, would they even really want him back without Jeff in general, because Jeff is still under AEW contract, and given he's hurt right now, I don't know how that really works all the way, but it's just kind of funny with Matt, because, like, this dude, literally not that long ago, all the time on the internet was defending AEW left and right, the Bucks, all this stuff, and arguing with people online, like damn near company shill at that point. But now it's like, oh, we're not happy with how the Hardys have been booked, and now he's just going at AEW left and right and criticizing them now. So it's just kind of funny to me that I'm like, damn, you was just damn near defending them left and right. Now you done turned on him. I see it. I was like, damn, his things weren't working his way over there. So it's like, well, no, I'm out. I'm not resigning. I'm gonna go somewhere else. And Jeff's case, it's like we talked about earlier. Like, yeah, they probably could have had the tag titles and what, but Jeff ended up fucking up again, unfortunately. And that just kind of ruined things. So it got to the point where the Hardys were literally just jobbing the people on AEW, which was really strange to me. Like, the strange one I saw was when y'all got them going against the Righteous and beating the Hardys clean, pinning Jeff, where the crowd just starts chanting bullshit. Then I had to sit there like, what in the hell was that? Like, what was that? Like, what? I don't know. So Matt is just strange, and it's still kind of weird to me in a way. Like, yeah, both of these guys got hurt by Sami Guevara over there, and I thought they were going to be doing something with Jeff in AEW and turning him heel, but then Sami ended up messing that up. So, like, Matt, I don't know if he's just going to be in TNA until Jeff gets off of his contract. I don't know, but it's just kind of maybe. But I just think it's kind of funny now that, well, like, hey, the broken thing worked in TNA, so it didn't really work in AEW. So hell, it didn't really work in WWE. So it worked here. So we'll see what happens then. But I just feel like it's just kind of funny that now he came back to TNA after everything he's been talking about lately. It's just kind of funny to me. Like, you've been talking it left and right, but I don't know, man. He's just trying to get a big paycheck, I feel like, at the same time. Like, hey, get your money. It's whatever, but
That's the game, man.
That's the game.
I mean, Eric Bischoff ended up working for Vince McMahon, so it's like, that's just the game, bro.
That's the
That's
game.
just how it is.
That's just how it is. But man, you was talking so good about AEW left and right and defending them from everybody. Now it's like, oh, he didn't turn now. Everybody like, he didn't turn. He want to run back over there. He want to go back to the title. Be like, well, yeah, we don't like how Hardys have been booked. I'm like, at one point you can agree on that, but at the same time, even I had to sit there like, well, Jeff did that stuff to his own. Like, that's on Jeff. I'm sorry, but I'm like,
Yeah, he's a
Like,
grown man, bro. Like,
it's like once I saw the Hardy talking about, yeah, we feel like ghosts back here in AEW. I'm like, Jeff, you fucked up again, dude. Like, that's on you at this point. I'm sorry, but like that's on him. Like, that's on y'all. So it's just the hypocrisy of a lot of Matt Hardy is just it's just funny to me because it's like one minute everything's good, now it's bad. Like, damn, you talking so good about him, and then your idiotic wife want to keep talking too, which you can't take us seriously at this point. I could bury her in 100 ways right now, but we're not gonna go into that. That would take a whole video to do. But yeah, it's just funny to me that Matt Hardy is just back in TNA after just him talking so much lately. So will he go for the title? Like I said, a program with Moose. Do I really want to see that? No, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Matt Hardy right now. But it's the broken gimmick again, folks. So we'll see what happens. People love to chant delete, so I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me.
yeah, some things are just in the moment things, right? Because I remember very distinctly when this broken stuff first happened, and him and Jeff had the final deletion, and I remember you sending me the link to watch it, and I was like, "This is stupid," and I didn't like it. But then as time went on, and I started like getting the bit, like this is supposed to be hokey, and this is like it's not supposed to be something taken completely seriously. And I was like, actually, this is pretty cool. And then Jeff ended up joining him, and they had the match with Decay and the whole zeitgeist stuff, all this broken universe and all that. I became a fan of it. And then when they tried to do it in WWE, it was kind of half attempted. It wasn't fully what we were getting in TNA. So it wasn't really the same. And then they did the match with Wyatt, then him and Wyatt were tag team and all that. Then it became another nostalgia run. Then he left and he tried again in AEW, which was cool, but unfortunately it happened during pandemic. So nobody was there to really appreciate it. And then, kind of just fizzled out. He just became regular Matt Hardy again. And it's just like, man, sometimes stuff is just in the moment, man. Like you had a moment with the broken stuff and it was cool. And then, maybe it's just time to move on to something else. Like I've
Well,
seen you reinvent yourself quite a few times, man. Like he did the V1 stuff after him and Jeff broke up the first time, which was cool. I really liked that back in the day. When he left WWE and went to Ring of Honor, he was doing the big money mat stuff. He joined Scum and all that. Like, yeah, that was cool, bro. You got more ideas than just the broken thing. You don't have to be broken or nostalgia, Matt. You can do something else, bro. Like, and he just doesn't. So I don't know, man.
here's the
I
thing.
guess time will tell. I'm not going to poo-poo on it. Like, automatically it's bad. But I just got to see something interesting, man. Because right off the bat, a Matt Hardy, broken Matt Hardy versus Moose, it ain't for me, man.
I'll say this too. Because he did try to do the broken Matt thing in AEW, and that didn't go nowhere. Maybe because of the people they had him with, I feel like too, that Hardy office thing was just bad. That really was bad. That was bad. And even I kind of got to the point, I even said that I felt like he needed Jeff there to get over again, to be honest, once he came along. Because, even when Jeff left was still kind of weird how he left WWE. Because, to be honest, Jeff was really over before he left WWE. Like, he was really over. Crowd was definitely chanting his name. You had No More Words theme song back. Even I thought he was going to be going for the title at one point. But then,
Jeff
Jeff
going Jeff.
Jeff being Jeff again, doing all that bullshit, and then he got released, and then he went to AEW, and I guess WWE was like, well, here's your problem now, and then, okay, we're going to try to do the Hardys thing again, and try to, get the tag titles again, but like we said earlier, Jeff fucked up again. I hate saying that a lot, but it happens way too many times than I can count, so that really messed up a lot of things and stuff, so I felt like Matt needed him at that point just to kind of get back over to a level again. But then, like I said, that messed up a lot of things. And even now with the broken stuff, unless you're going to tweak some with the broken thing, and like I say, you're trying to strike lightning twice again, I don't know. Because what? If Jeff does, whenever he leaves AEW contract, hell, will we see Brother Nero again? I don't know. Because, like you said, the broken universe thing was like a once in a moment thing. like I said, as silly as it really was going back on it, it really did get Matt Hardy over to a big level. Even I got to a point, this was probably one of the times where Matt was more over than Jeff, was the Broken Universe thing. Yeah, because I thought he looked like Beethoven out there at first doing all this stuff. But then after that, it got it got more over then. Like I said, the universe stuff, just all the cinema. Hell, they were like one of the first people to be doing all these cinematic matches when you really think about it. And they all fought at his house. So I don't
They wrote
know.
the blueprint, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's true. They were kind of the blueprint of the whole thing with the cinematic universe, and JB, I think, was producing a lot of it too. And like I said, we're all fighting through Matt Hardy's house, and his family is involved, and all like the names like Senor Benjamin and Brother Nero, and just all these names he was coming up with and biting his teeth and all that. So it was really over. Like I said, can you strike lightning twice? I don't know if it'll really work again. The crowd seemed to love it in
I
the
think he
end.
should just
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like it. The crowd seemed to be into it at the end of this pay-per-view and stuff, but like I said, will it strike lightning twice again? So I don't know. Matt Hardy is a weird one for me coming back to TNA for multiple reasons, like I was just talking about. So it's just kind of weird, just the way how he's back for some reason. Just I think just given all the interviews he's been doing recently, that's what kind of gets me about it. But like, yeah, he's a free agent, so why not? Because I don't think WWE was gonna take him back on his own. But hey, that's the game.
Uh,
That's the game.
I think it depends, man, because they easily could have brought him back to be like a producer or something, but as a on-screen talent, I don't know, because there's no guarantee they even want like Jeff back, because how Jeff left and Jeff's reputation and all that, and the fact that Jeff went to AEW after his loss, after his removal from WWE for the same thing he's always gotten in trouble for, and then at AEW he still got in trouble for the same thing, and it's like I don't know if they even want to bring him back to, for that reason, but if they didn't do that, then what would Matt bring to WWE television as an on-screen character? I don't know, but in TNA, that's a little different, and I wish he was doing something. I mean, yeah, you can pop the crowd with the broken thing because they're going to pop for that. It's TNA, that's fine, whatever. But like for longevity, I wish he did something different because honestly, this last AEW run was the first time that I thought Matt needed Jeff. Because whenever they've separated, like I said, he did the V1 thing. There was that whole bit in '05 with the Edge stuff.
Yep.
Then he did the broken thing. Like, there have been plenty of times where he's gotten over just being Matt without Jeff being involved. But then this AEW run was the first time I felt like, yeah, once he started doing that Hardy Family Office stuff, like this is going nowhere, bro. Like you need Jeff now, bro, because I think you're tapped for ideas, man, because this isn't it. And then when Jeff came in, and it was like, oh, okay, cool. And then that didn't really go anywhere either, likely because Jeff is Jeff. So I don't know, man. Now in this 2024 landscape,
Hell, dude, they had Jeff in hardcore matches almost every week on AEW.
yeah, man, you could write a book about interesting decisions that were made with the Hardys in the AEW time, man. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like I said, we'll have to see. Time will tell if this was a good idea or not. Not necessarily signing him, but going with this character. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, the pre-recorded thing is going to help him a lot, but you got to get in the ring eventually. And if we get in the ring and it's all antics and like, yeah, we'll see, man.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, man, that limp he had not that long ago, that was kind of hard to watch. Cause didn't he have like a limp lately? The last time he was
Bro,
kind of
they
in the
both move like it hurts to walk, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying,
Jeff
bro.
seems a
Like,
little bit better.
that's what I'm saying, bro. The Hardys in 2024, man. I don't know, man. I'm cool.
Because everybody kept saying, like, how come they're not doing what Edge and Christian are doing on AEW right now?
Well, that sometimes, I mean, you can make an argument about Sting. Like, some people, I guess, just take better care of themselves. Like, It's just, that's just a fact of life, man. Some see maybe they racked up less injuries than they did or whatever it is, but some people, I don't know, man. Like you look at RVD and all the crazy stuff he's done in his career, and he's still moving like he always has. And I don't know, man. It's
Hell,
just
Edge was gone for 11 years until he came back, and the old Edge was back again. So, hell, Christian was gone for a minute at one point, and he came back even stronger than ever. So, I guess it kind of depends how you take care of yourself and how things go. Because, like you said, hey, I like Jeff, but even I have to sit there and say sometimes, like, you can't trust him with the ball. You just can't trust him with the ball. It's like if we give him like the title or something, you don't know what he gonna do, because like the dude could easily fuck up again one way or another. So there's a reason why I think at a point in time, like, yeah, we can't trust this dude with the ball no more. Because, he may be clean 1 minute, but then it's like, here we go. Now we got to hear something. He did something stupid again. I'm like, back to square one. So I don't know. And then that stuff with Sami really kind of, which I mostly blame Sami for, but that was just I don't know. That, like I said, there's a thing when you can't trust a lot of people, I guess, with the ball. So we'll see what happens with Matt. But like I said, this whole show in general, we had a lot of returns on this pay-per-view. Overall though, I think this was overall really good pay-per-view. I mostly enjoyed damn near everything until like the knockouts title match. That's where it just kind of got to like what is going on here. The main event, it's like it's a good and bad thing in a way for multiple kind of reasons to how it went. That finish is still weird, but I mostly liked everything. I was excited to see the returns. Santana, Callihan, even Matt Hardy to an extent. Like you said earlier, this does make the world title picture at least look a little bit more interesting, has some contenders involved where you can, have multiple people, to think that, like, hey, this person would actually win the world title right here. So this makes everything a little bit more interesting now and build some things. Like the matches I really like throughout the night has to be between the last man standing and the tag team title match. So those are probably like one of my favorite things throughout the entire night. But overall, this was a very, very good pay-per-view in general.
I agree. Yeah, man. This is a solid A minus B plus range show. I mean, yeah, I'd go like an A minus. I thought it was fire until those two matches. Well, the one match really that pissed me off, and then the main event I kind of felt kind of on. But otherwise, I mean, on a what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 card show, 6 of the matches I thought were great. Then yeah, man, it's a hit for sure. No miss.
No, no, it was still definitely a great show. I definitely enjoyed it. Just kind of towards the end, that's why I kind of was a little wishy-washy. And I did kind of question of them going back to the same building they were like a few months ago for Hard to Kill. That was kind of, I don't know, I thought it was kind of strange because I'm not saying they couldn't get the crowd again, draw the people like they did in the get-go, but it was for entirely two different reasons. So I thought it was a little bit strange that they went back to the Palms Palace again in Vegas, especially after like a few months. So I thought it was kind of
That's
weird.
one
But
of those things they need to start working on, man. And allegedly, that's the kind of thing Scott wanted to change, and that's why they got them up out of there. But yeah, man, venues is always going to be one of the problems, and so is tape television. And I mean, we did a whole rant about Hard to Kill, about what we thought we were going to get in this new era of TNA, that the things that needed to change aren't changing. So I don't know, man. The bigger venues, different venues, better production, like all that kind of stuff is
we
just
ain't
going to
seen
be
it
what
yet.
it is, man.
We ain't even seen it. We haven't even seen it still. Even Slammiversary, I think, will be in Montreal. I don't know where in Montreal they're supposed to go for Slammiversary, but I don't remember the name of the building. So I just know. I hope it's a little bit bigger. I know they're coming back over here in like June, I believe, for Against All Odds and a taping at the same building. Might I remind you? So I was kind of hoping they were going to move away from that building because, like I said, they came over here like 3 times out of the year last year, even for Bound for Glory. Like, I appreciate y'all for coming back this many times, but I'm like, damn, don't kill the market. I know it's a hot town over here, Chicago, but don't kill the market. That's my whole thing about it, because I didn't think they was gonna come around. Like, damn, they're coming 3 times here out of the year. Like, that's kind of overdoing it. Don't get me wrong, it was still fun to see, and I went to those shows, and I got to see Trinity debut, and Bound for Glory in general. But I was hoping they were gonna go to a different building in Chicago. I was kind of hoping for, but I don't know. That's still one thing I still feel like that needs to change out and stuff. But I will say this one last question. Do you feel like anything has been different since Scott D'Amore has not been there anymore?
Uh, no, not really. I mean, I don't think he would have done to that Jordan Grace match what they did tonight. But other than that, like, no, storylines are still pretty consistent with what the vision was. There's not, yeah, it's not like a Triple H Vince thing where you see all these different changes in how they produce and shoot and stuff like that, or how they do the promo styles. It's all pretty much still the same. And I guess that's because a lot of the same people are there, just not Scott, because he had like a creative team with him with Tommy and all of them.
Yeah, Gil.
And yeah, and all of them are still there. So I think largely it's been pretty much the same.
Yeah, I don't think it's been that different. I know a lot of talent were mad at one point, especially given how he was removed, which we don't really know why still at this point. But I know they put some other guy in charge now, so it hasn't really been that different. The show's still consistent. Even I had a friend said last night he felt like TNA, what he was seeing like was a better show than what he saw on AEW, because he thought a lot of stuff made sense on what he saw on TNA from a booking standpoint. He just wished there was like better production, and the crowd isn't bad, but he was watching Thursday's show, and he just thought like during the whole Ziggler promo and with Moose, he felt like too many people were looking at their phone throughout that segment and whatnot. And I had to tell him, like, well, you gotta remember it's a tape show, and they do like 2 shows out of one taping. Like, depending on the day it is, it depending if they're in that building, because like if they're there like 2 days, that's like 4 episodes and stuff. If they're there for like 2 days just to do a taping and everything. But he liked what he saw on TNA. He thought it was better booked than AEW. He was enjoying what he was seeing.
Well, you and I have said for a long time that TNA was the best weekly book show, including WWE too, man. Like, I don't think that's crazy. I mean, during the Scott era for sure. Like the week to week booking of TNA, we been were saying that. Like, I don't know if I'll agree now. Like, I don't know, because some shows it kind of fluctuates now, because you know some people have up weeks, down weeks. Like I think sometimes AEW was lit. Other times I really like the majority of NXT. Sometimes, well, Raw is still boring to me, and SmackDown kind of fluctuates too. But yeah, that's nothing new, man. Because we were saying that for a long time, and I'm glad other people are seeing it. It's like, yeah, TNA is probably the best book week to week show, man. And you're always guaranteed at least one really good match on there. So
I would just like to see better production and a better TV deal and better venues. That's what I would just like to see. Like, yeah, I get when they had the
we've
whole
also been saying that for a long time too.
yeah, we said that for a very long time, and I was hoping some change was gonna happen. I would still like to see it still, but I would like to see really something change, especially a better television deal and whatnot. For it's a lot of things. Like I said, we said this for a while, but that's the thing everybody would like to see. So that's my whole state about it. But overall, though, I thought this was a really good show. I definitely enjoyed it. Um, Obviously, there's another pay-per-view later on tonight. How that will be reviewed, I don't even know. And whatnot, given this, like I said, they're coming on tonight with Sunday. We still got Dynasty. But no, I thought Rebellion overall was still a really great show and enjoyed it. Anything to say before we get out of here?
Nah, same old, same old. BlackShaggy.bandcamp.com. Go cop some new music, and yeah, man. Until next time.
Yep, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and yeah, probably will be back later tonight. Maybe, don't know, for a Dynasty review. However that will work, not sure, but we'll see. Other than that, out of here. See y'all then. Peace out.